He's
Deborah.
Christy Russ. You know why
Chris.
he's D? Because my name was Deborah Daniel,
Okay.
and my daddy had 3 girls. And I wanted to honor my dad
Nice.
by naming by putting Daniel in Chris's name, you know, because he
You picked the wrong son, Deborah.
Should have held out for that second, boy. You should have held out for that second.
If she could have only known the second was going to be a boy.
Little did you know that it was
you
going to
never
be
know.
all rise. First on the docket, Mr. Christopher Daniel Russ.
I'm gonna call about this tree. Ooh. I'm coming. Butt crack plumbing. I'm looking for the tree service. Yeah, that's what I meant. Timber tree service. I was seeing if you could come look at a tree for me next week. I could squeeze you in, man. I think I could squeeze you in.
Don't get fooled like Peyton and call just anyone. You need a name you can trust. Call Buckeye Preferred Services. They are insured with over 35 years experience in custom tree felling, crown reduction, whole tree removal, as well as stump grinding and cleanup. They are cutting out your problems one limb at a time, serving the greater Middle Georgia area and beyond. You can find their Facebook in the description and call them at 478-484-2178 or 478-278-5574.
Well, hello. We are very excited to be back yet again.
Very excited.
I'm very excited. Yes. So don't start laughing already. It's going to cut the sound out.
That's right.
We have a very exciting episode planned today. As you have witnessed, we have had Derek and Brian's mother on. We have had Derek and Brian's brother on. And now we have got my mom on the podcast. What a time to be alive.
And hey, this isn't an easy one, all the way from
Fernandina
Beach. That's what I
Florida.
thought.
Paparazzi gonna be at your house
That's-
now. Suckers into that one.
You can change
That fame's gonna catch up to you when you get back down there. Now, sorry, Dad. I didn't know.
We have a
didn't know.
following in Florida.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Uh,
I know where the address where they are too.
But we are very excited. We got a fun episode planned today. We're going to talk to her a little bit in just a minute. Kind of learn a little bit about how she grew up and let her kind of talk. I can tell you from experience, she is no stranger to talking. She'll be just fine. She'll get it figured out. She'll have plenty to say, I'm sure. If you haven't already, please like the video, comment down below what you'd like to see us do next, what you'd like to see us talk about, any guests you'd like us to reach out to. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. I think on desktop it's down in the bottom left. On phones it's in the bottom right. It's down there somewhere. Click that subscribe button. It sure does go a long way to give us some help. And it's absolutely free to you. We sure appreciate it. We're growing. I think before we started this one, it was 555. And we are continuously growing, and it's all because of y'all, and we greatly appreciate it. So now,
I got one last night.
I'm in the middle of talking.
I'm sorry, I gave a card out last night though.
I'm in the middle of the intro. Act like a
That
professional.
might have put us to 555.
Good job.
Well, that's a weird. It's a 555. You want to go play the lottery?
Sorry,
Cash
Chris.
3 555.
Actually, I do.
Carry on.
I'm about to unplug Derek's microphone. This will be the last time. I promise you that.
Tell both of you that. Anyway,
Well, good job, Derek.
Good job, Derek.
I followed him out in the parking
pat
lot
on the back.
too. I followed him in the parking lot and gave it to
You
him.
followed him
That's
out
a
there?
little creepy.
I was taking something out there too. So.
Hey, man, you forgot something.
Hey, bro.
My business card. QR code on the back part.
Hey, bro, you forgot to subscribe.
You listen to podcasts.
You get a free subscription with
you
every
do
12
now.
pack of Bud Light.
That's true. You can just give a bunch of people like with their 12-pack purchase.
Act like it comes with it.
Yeah.
If you buy one
Hey,
more
we
12
actually
pack,
give
we'll
you a
give you a free subscription to
well,
Coffee and Ketchup.
yeah, you know what I mean?
I don't know why I even said anything.
We're so glad you did. You know, so glad you did.
Already off the rails.
I just didn't even make it
It
through the
doesn't take
intro.
long, Deborah.
Didn't even make it through the intro.
It doesn't take long.
Well, usually you didn't see it today because we don't have one, but like usually we have a whiteboard with like, okay, we're going to talk about this, and this. That it shambles before we get done with the first bullet point. You know what I mean? We're way off there in left field.
I love it.
So, anyways, Brian has a story he said he'd like to share with us, kind of get us started. A little bit of funniness.
I do want to tell you what happened to me yesterday for 5:54. Speaking of numbers, 5:54. All right, so I'm door dashing yesterday morning and took the day off because I'm going to the Hawks game last night, right?
Now, yesterday morning was what?
Friday. Friday. So we're recording this on Saturday. So Friday morning, February the 2nd, I was going to the Hawks game against the Phoenix Suns Friday night at 7:30. Parking has doubled, as you know this, in Atlanta. And so I said, I'm fixing to take care of my parking and DoorDash this morning. All right. I get the weirdest, the most uncomfortable DoorDash order I've ever gotten.
Come on.
At Dollar General.
Dollar General.
Y'all want to try and guess what I had to go get at Dollar General?
Tampons.
No.
Birth control. No,
No.
it's a
Close.
pregnancy test.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pregnancy test.
Yes.
Wow.
With DoorDash.
With DoorDash.
I love it.
Did
I think it's great.
Was for Clear Blue Easy.
Okay.
So I don't know what the item is until I get to the store, arrived at store, and then it pops up and I'm like,
should not have accepted this one.
I got a question for you. Do they have more than one option at the Dollar General? Is it just
I don't know because guess what? They're sold behind the counter.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is strange. And I didn't want to waste all the time walking the aisles because obviously I've never looked for a pregnancy test in Dollar General before.
Yeah.
I don't know where they keep these things
Right.
at. So I asked the girl working.
That'd be fun.
Well, once upon a time it was. So I said, hey, I got a question for you. Where's your pregnancy test at? She goes, they're back here. And she tried to give me the Dollar General brand, and I go, no, I need a Clear Louise. You got that back there?
Clear Louise?
Clear Louise? That's Louisiana's version of the Clear Louise.
We're just dropping the B's out of there. You know what I mean? Forget that blue. We don't need that.
It's
Just
the one from Louisiana.
Sure.
That Cajun
I
spice
was
to
just
it.
going to say, it's got a little bit of that spice to it. You know what I mean? Some of them Creole babies.
Came from Pop-Tart.
So is she pregnant?
She's pregnant.
Louise?
Did you stick around for the results?
Louise?
I was going to say, hey, I'm going to wait in the driveway.
Yeah,
Come out and let me know what's going on.
Let me know if it's congratulations or not.
So no. So the girl gets me the pregnancy test and gives it to me and takes me over to the register, and classic form, I'm like, this is not for me. Bro,
I'm sure he did too.
bro, she looks up at me and goes, that's what they all say. So I'm like,
Oh, man, that's too funny.
no, for real. This really isn't for me. And she goes, mm-hmm.
Sure.
Did you have to show your ID to be able to buy it?
No.
I didn't figured you may have to.
Brother, you don't have to be a certain age to need one. You ain't got to be a certain age to buy one. So I pay for it, man. And she's like, you need a bag? And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm just going to take it like this in the box. I go to walk out. She says, let me know how it turns out for you. I literally, this is no joke. I'm not kidding. I literally walked out of the store, got a business card, turned around, went back in, and I said, here, we got a podcast QR code on the back. I'm telling this story. In the next episode, she said, I'm going to subscribe. So Jessica, my girl,
comment down below. Let us know you've seen it.
you've seen this. And again, it was not for me. I had a hoodie on, right, with a pocket in the front. So I go to the place. I'm not going to say where I took it to.
Right.
I took it to a place of business.
Huh.
And I walk, and I'm like, I don't know how this person feels. You get what I'm saying?
Why didn't you get a bag?
That's true. Now he's worried about the discreetness of it. You know what I mean?
Thinking I'm going to somebody's house, right? and like I wasn't. So I stick the test in the pocket, and I walk
It's like
in.
he's dealing drugs.
I fell back into my
Hey,
old
hey,
thinking,
you,
and I
you
walk.
call me about the clear
I
the
walk.
clear blue,
I walk in. I was like,
clear Louisiana.
"You need that clear Louisiana?" I, I got it on the nose. I got that
You know what I
CDE.
mean? Yeah.
I got
Everybody
that.
else wants this for,
I
but I
got
cut
that
you a deal.
CDE, girl. No, I walked in. There's three ladies standing there. It could have been any of the three of them. And I'm like, somebody called DoorDash, and one of them behind the little thing said, "It's me." And I go, "It's cool.
Yeah. It
It's
is cool.
it's cool."
That's great.
Like, oh, it's fine. I pull out. And hey, dude, I was good Lord. More my condolences.
Yeah, either you know, like, I don't.
More.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know.
how we feel about it.
Did you really?
Congratulations.
Did you really say that?
I'm
What'd you say?
no, I just said thank you, and I got out of there as quick as I could.
I'm mad. When you said there, I was like, oh no, you can tell everybody. Oh, I didn't know everybody liked to party. Okay. Okay, we dropping them off like that, dude. Okay.
Two of them in here.
I have a very serious question.
Ask
for you,
away,
'cause
dear.
this is the way my mind works.
I'm sure.
Is it gnawing at you to know if this girl's pregnant? or not?
Yes. I'm going back by there.
It would be me
I'm
too.
going
You gonna
back
have a
by
gift
there.
with you, like a little baby shower gift?
I'm gonna go in with an like a what's an off color, Deborah?
Yeah,
It's neutral.
green.
A
Yeah.
Green or
neutral.
yellow.
Green or yellow. I'm gonna go in with like a green teddy bear.
Well, you need two. So you need two gifts.
Derek, that's why I went with the
You need to
green.
take a teddy bear, and you can have a pack of Marlboro. You know which one to give her, depending on the outcome. She'll appreciate it probably. Either or.
When he first said it, I was just like, why would a baby need margarine?
Come on, Chris. Seriously?
You are in Dublin, boy.
I was like, that's how much Derek must have grown up, you know? I was like, man, he quit smoking. He just cannot stop talking about Marlboros. Oh, yeah.
Got me a carton for Christmas.
I just wanted to be able to buy some.
Yeah, I mean,
I stocked 3 cartons last night before I left work. I just wanted to touch
he just stocks them and unstocks them, knocks them down, stocks them back. Oh my God. So, Mom, thanks for coming on. You know,
Welcome to Coffee and Ketchup,
yeah,
by the way.
this is pretty much it. It's so bad that this kind of stuff right here. So we don't share podcast topics during the week. And we used to kind of like I'd come over and we'd be like, all right, we're gonna record in like 20, 30 minutes, and we'd sit upstairs and we would pretty much just do this.
Hmm.
And we had to cut all that out because we'd sit there and like laugh for the entire time.
Yeah.
And we'd have to try to like recreate it on the podcast. So like we don't except for work, I don't even talk to Brian during the week. You know what I mean? I block his calls. We don't even talk, you know. But yeah, we do. This is pretty much our natural kind of camaraderie, and we just decided to put a camera up. You know, I guess it's working all right so far. But anyways, my mom, and doing this, I'm usually the one that kind of conducts the interviews with the guests as they come on, and we do nothing but the most unbiased, just raw, truthful content on Coffee and Ketchup. We don't lie, and we don't show favorites. So I'm going to do this, not as your son, but as a
Professional.
as a professional, as
Sure.
a podcast host. Now, so Deborah, can I call you Deborah?
I don't want to call her Deborah either, but I'm going to.
Not Derek.
But I'm going
She is
to.
married. She is married, and you're going to calm down.
It's called her Miss Russ 3 times.
I told you 3 times. It's Deborah. It's Deborah. You can
I
call me
love
Deborah.
it. I love it.
Well, I'm going to say something mean about you and nice about her. Y'all are almost the same age, Derek.
I already knew that.
No, you
Yeah.
don't.
I already knew.
Anyways, so Mom, Deborah, we got you on here. We wanted to know. I've shared a few stories, kind of that you've told me over the years, over the episodes that we've done. But we really want to just kind of get to know, give you an opportunity to tell about you. We'd love to know kind of where you grew up, what it was like growing up, what kind of family did you grow up in? Because I think you've got some really good stories from childhood. Um, you were the paint the bathroom blue. That was the Daniels, though, right? Robin, maybe?
Actually,
Anyways,
no, actually that
I know
comes
it's a
from a
story.
story. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
thought somebody in the
That's
family did
Robin.
that though.
Robin wanted to.
Oh,
I think
okay.
she might have started it,
Anyways,
but
never
okay.
mind. Well, I'm
All
not
right,
going
all
to
right,
tell
all
your
right.
stories. I'll let you tell. So why don't you start where, where you grew up, what kind of family household did you grow up in? Give us a little backstory about what makes Deborah tick.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See how I
Well,
did that?
I am the oldest of three daughters.
Okay.
Our father was a Presbyterian pastor.
Uh,
So we,
Presbyterian, it's okay.
yeah,
All you
that's all right.
all the Baptists, just calm down. Just calm down. I'm sorry. She didn't have any control.
That's all right. So we Presbyterian pastors, not unlike Baptist pastors, can move around a lot of
mhm,
different places. It just kind
mhm.
of depends. They're called by a congregation,
Mm.
unlike Methodists and some of the other denominations where there's a larger church government that picks where the preachers go.
Right.
So I was born in North Carolina, but we moved when I was just still an infant, and I grew up my early baby years in a little town in Virginia. But my first real memories are in Runsford,
Onsford,
West Virginia,
Ripco
with
bars.
Ripco
Okay.
bars. The
Yeah.
boys,
Why are you shaking your head like you know where that is?
West Virginia.
West
What-
Virginia, yes.
That's a
He
state.
knows the
Everybody knows
state
that.
of West
That's
Virginia.
why I'm shaking
That's
my
right.
head.
Yeah. Oh, you mean in America? Oh yes, America. Yes,
East,
yes.
East Coast.
Yeah.
That's East Coast.
Yeah, it's like New Mexico, which I'll talk. Well, I'll mention that
Yeah.
later too. But anyway, so grew up in a little town, um, probably well, almost every town that I lived in growing up was a little town because my dad felt very much called to serve small churches. It's hard to get, you know, good pastors in small churches because they can't pay him anything.
Mm.
So we had the fortunate blessing of the particular house in the Presbyterian church. There usually was, at least when I was a kid, a house attached to the church. So you
Mhm.
got to live in they called it a manse in the Presbyterian church, but
I thought it was a parsonage.
so the parsonage is Methodist.
Oh, excuse me.
It's
Same
I mean,
idea, though.
it's the same idea.
Oh,
Same idea.
gosh.
So the our house was right next to the church, and it was an amazing house. We never could have afforded to live in a house this big. It was 3 stories. We all had our own bedrooms. You know, it because in West Virginia everybody has a basement. Full basement was our playroom. It was a great house. And I started first grade there and stayed there all the way through 8th grade. So that's where I consider my childhood home
Gotcha.
to be.
Sure.
So
So y'all stayed, did you stay at the same church that whole length of time?
yeah. We stayed there for
Which is pretty extraordinary for
Mm.
Presbyterian preacher,
well,
right?
The Methodists tend to move more frequently than the Presbyterians.
Okay.
It's kind of up to the pastor and the congregation to decide.
Okay.
My dad had a real strong philosophy that you should stay at least 5 years because if you move more often than that, then you can't really even get programs started and that kind of stuff. But not to stay much more than 10 years because after a while, everybody needs a change. Pastor needs a change. Church needs a change. So anyway,
Fair
we were
enough.
there about 8 years, and so I went there all the way through 8th grade. So I consider that my childhood home. My two sisters, Trisha is 2 years younger than I am. Robin is 6 years younger than I am. So she doesn't have the strong memories of Ronceverte, West Virginia, that Trisha and I do. But it was a great place to grow up. We lived just a couple of miles from the state fairgrounds, so like that was like the big thing every year. You know, everybody saved all your little pennies and everything so
Mhm.
that you could go to the state fair. We were quite a ways away, unlike a lot of my friends who grew up and y'all who grew up around your cousins and your aunts and uncles and your grandparents. We never lived anywhere close to where our grandparents lived, and so we only got to see them a couple 3 times a year.
Mm.
But I mean, it was a great life. And then interestingly enough, fast forward quite a bit. Uh, 5 years ago, Roy, my husband, Chris's dad, got an opportunity to be an associate dean at a medical school. And he didn't even tell me that he had applied for this job.
Oh, Roy.
And then when he got the interview, he said, "Okay, so I wanted you to know." I knew he was looking. He said, "I want you to know that I got an interview at an osteopathic school in West Virginia." I said, "Really?" I said, "Where?" He said, "Lewisburg, West Virginia." That's like 3 miles from where I grew up.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. So we ended up going back. And from 2019 until 2022, I got to go back to my hometown
Wow.
and reconnect with friends. And I went back to the church. And this is crazy. My best friend, when I was in elementary school, her son is now the pastor of the church where my daddy was the pastor.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? So I got to reconnect with all those people, wonderful people, wonderful people. I am so happy that I got to do that. But
I got
anyway,
a question.
yes.
When you were on your way back over there in 2019, that was the first time you had been back since your childhood?
Well, almost.
Did you listen to John Denver on the way back?
You know what? Every time,
As soon as
John
you
Virgil,
started talking about West Virginia, I knew we was getting at
honey,
least one Denver.
every time
And Roy
that.
was singing driving. I can see it now.
I can't see that last time.
I'm not sure.
I can see Roy driving. I don't know if I can see Roy singing.
Every
Not
time
singing
that song
John
comes
Denver.
on,
You
I
love it.
top of my lungs
I love it
because
too.
I was living in West Virginia in 1971
When
when
it came out.
that song came out,
Oh,
and
awesome. That's
it,
awesome.
it is still like the theme song of
It's
West
the
Virginia.
theme song
It is.
of not West
The
Virginia.
sad thing about it is that
sung a lot.
it is so inaccurate as far as West Virginia because he
Really?
talks about Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. They're not in West Virginia. Neither one of them are. They're in
John.
Virginia.
Yeah.
They're in Virginia, but they're not in West Virginia.
Not one mention about cave people, meth heads. Not
No,
one time.
I've looked at the lyrics
Hey,
and it doesn't mention
71,
that.
it wasn't that bad in 71.
That's
But anyway,
true. That's true.
but
Pretty
anyway,
bad in Timber.
But that is really neat that y'all
it was. It
wound
was.
up back there.
It was wonderful.
I think it's funny
It
how
was
you
wonderful.
wound up back there, and the same people that were there were when you were growing up were still there,
A lot
and it
of
just
them.
speaks to the soul crushing confinement of small towns. You can just never leave.
We were going
I'm
with
serious.
core
Oh,
and values and family,
oh,
but you know,
oh,
core.
No, that's
yeah.
and
Well,
people
that too. Yeah, that'll work.
because West Virginia is still. People say it's not, but it's still. Especially we were in southern West Virginia. It's a very southern state.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
And
Yeah.
so even though
No, Mason
um,
Dixon.
Oh, Mountain Mama.
even though it was created from the Mason-Dixon line, a lot of people in West Virginia say, "Oh no, well, let me tell you about the story. We should have been in the Confederacy, not in the not in." So don't even get them started. But
We lost. Get over
but
it. You know,
but
move on.
ultimately, um, I have learned because Roy and I have lived in 5 states in a foreign country in our 41 years of marriage. And Southern communities are wonderful, wonderful places, but most of the time people stay there.
Yeah, they
They
stick and
don't
stay.
leave,
You're
they
right.
don't travel,
You're right.
they don't
You are right.
and so we lived in New Mexico for 2.5 years. That's where Keith was born.
Shout out Keith,
Shout out Keith.
my man.
We
Brian's favorite Russ.
Hey,
Mine
that's what
too.
it is.
we you know we lived on a Caribbean island for 2 years.
I want to hear a little bit about
Yeah,
that when you get to
so
it. I'm curious about that.
it's interesting when you and then when we moved to Fernandina Beach,
Was
Florida.
Hawaii.
No, when we moved to Fernandina Beach 2 years ago, even though it's extreme North Florida, it's just literally right across the line, first exit after you
Right.
cross the
2
Georgia line.
steps.
Sure.
So there's a lot of Southern community there, but there's also a big military presence there.
Uh-huh.
A lot of transplants. So in New Mexico and Fernandina
People
Beach,
missing organs.
we
I can't
we
hit.
we made friends and felt like we were integrated into the community so much faster in those communities than in Macon and in the southern towns that we were in, just because, and it's not intentional, but people that live in small southern towns, they have friends that they've had all their lives.
That's right.
It can be a little clicky.
So
Right.
yeah,
That's
and it's
true.
not. I don't think it's necessarily an intentional thing.
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah,
they don't
good
need any more
people.
friends,
Yeah.
right? They've got so many friends.
Right.
They're very welcoming and they're very nice to you.
When I don't want to be your friend, it is intentional,
Well, that's
and
true.
you should take
But
offense
that's true.
because I don't want to know.
That's a genetic part of your
Yeah.
genetic makeup.
Right.
I've got a question about that, and
Okay.
it I don't think it's too personal that I can ask. Um, You said 5 states and 1 foreign country.
Mhm.
Do you think that strengthened your marriage? Because pretty much when you guys left, if the kids were with you at that time when you went to that place, pretty much other than the children, you guys were all you had. And a new place. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Did that like? I mean, I know y'all have a strong marriage. I'm not saying that,
Right.
but I'm just saying, do you
Right.
think that strengthened it even more? And like, hey, we all we got. We got to make this.
Yeah,
You know?
to a certain extent. Yeah, I do think that had a positive impact on it. I will say that, I grew up moving around, like I said, because when I started my senior in high school, we moved to Tabor City, North Carolina, because my dad took a new church. So now
So he was going to the small
Tabor
towns.
City is
wasn't he?
about a third of the size of
Cochran.
Cochran.
Oh yeah, Tabor City is a teeny tiny
It's
town.
it's
Dollar General, and that's it.
no.
Pretty much. Um, so yeah, when we moved there, I was 14 years old, right?
Mhm.
So again, small town. They had all been to kindergarten together, So
on.
now I'm the new kid in town
Right
again.
on.
That song came out about the same time too.
That's what I was thinking.
And I was used to a certain amount of, being able to pick up and move. Roy, his dad was in the military.
Oh,
Roy went to, I believe it was 6 different first grades because of his dad, 6 different classes in his first grade year because he moved around so much. So both
Wait.
of us, even though our parents were Southern, and we lived in some Southern towns, his dad had retired in the military and they moved back to Tabor City, which was where his family was from.
uh-huh.
And so we met in high school. But both of us having been families in families that moved around a lot, it was no big deal
Gotcha.
for us to do this.
Uh-huh.
So, we went to high school together. And this is a real funny story that I tell mamas who worry about, especially their boys, when they graduate high school and they say, I just don't know what he's going to do. He can't find any direction. So Roy Russ looked at me the night we graduated high school and he says, I am never going to school again. I hate school. I'm just going to get a job. And I said,
It didn't turn out that
okay.
way.
I said, I love you, but I'm going to East Carolina. I said, I've been looking forward to going to college my whole life.
Huh.
Because
Weird
then,
thing to say.
no, but here's the deal: when you are a preacher's kid, everybody judges you because you're a preacher's kid. I knew that when I got to college, nobody cares what my daddy did,
True.
So
Trying to have your own identity.
I did, and so I
And that's
loved it.
what is that? The Pirates?
Yeah, East Carolina Pirates.
Hey.
So
right.
I
They put it on TV
loved,
sometimes.
they do.
I'd say they do.
Yes, they do.
Listen, I used to
They-
play with the East Carolina Pirates on NCAA football back when it was a game.
1997.
No kid, no kidding, because it was such a small school, kind of like I said, I'll try to make them somebody and get,
Yeah, actually, they're not as it's the third largest school in North Carolina, only second to Chapel Hill and North
and
Carolina State.
no, we won
Anyway,
a national championship.
do
On
it.
we won
Yeah,
the national
yeah,
championship
yeah,
On the game.
yes, you did.
on
Yes,
the
you did.
game.
Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So anyway, he tells me that, and I said, well, I'll see you on some weekends, but I'm going to college.
Sure.
So for 2 years, he worked. He did all kind of things. He worked in the tobacco market because this is North Carolina. That's pretty much king. This was back in the 70s, and he worked in several jobs. Went to work with his dad at a ventilator company and everything. And then after about a couple of years, he said he started looking around and saying,
Work
"Is
sucks.
that's part of it," but he was also looking at his friends.
Physical labor's
I
trash.
don't even smoke. I don't even smoke, and I'm out here sweating for these folks. Damn the Marlboro man.
He's looking at all his friends and everything, and they had families and everything. He said, maybe I want something else." So he started going to a community college, and he was taking some classes, and then he said, this is not high school. I'm taking classes I'm interested in.
Right.
Yeah.
So my junior year at East Carolina, he came up to East Carolina too.
Huh.
So he started school, and then he was in school for the next 11 years.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
So you got to be ready. It's just like everything else we talk about. You got to
Sure.
be ready.
Yeah,
You got to
that's
be,
right.
and there are too many kids, especially young men, go off to college and flunk out first, second semester
Because they're not ready.
because they're not ready.
Oh,
They're
man,
not ready.
I
So
just thought about something too. You talking about all that schooling and everything like
You gonna
that.
go
Y'all
back?
gonna keep on? No, I might. Y'all are gonna stop disrespecting my mom with this Miss Russ crap.
Who said that?
This is Dr. Russ.
I said Deborah. Yeah.
Well, Deborah,
I
that's fine.
said Deborah,
This is
but yeah.
Dr. Russ.
Dr. Deborah, go ahead.
Okay.
Dr. Deborah.
Carry
I
on.
went to school for
There you go.
an obscene amount of time.
How long did you go?
Well, he did all his all in one, you know, in one long, like I said, 11 years. But by the time he graduated, and then when he was finishing up, Chris was born. Then with the doctorate that he got, which was in pharmacology, he needed to do like an MD does a residency. He did a postdoctorate out in that's how we ended up in New Mexico. He was at the University of New Mexico. So
Cool.
we were out in New Mexico for 2.5 years, and Keith was born out there. Loved New Mexico. And then finished out there, and then he got a job at Mercer Medical School, and that's how we ended up in Georgia. And then Kenneth was born in Macon, Georgia. So all
is that
three
how you
boys
guys-
were born in 3 different states.
Where were you born?
We were still
North Carolina.
Greenville, North Carolina. We were still at East Carolina.
Come on
Raised-
and
when he was
raise
born.
up.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
now-
right.
Okay. All right. Kenneth was born in
Kenneth was
Macon
born in Macon.
when he was at Mercer.
Yes, he was.
That's phenomenal.
So yeah, I mean,
Mercer's
Yeah, it's up there.
yeah,
Mercer's up there.
So he's pharmacology, and what's your doctorate in?
My doctorate is
Dr.
in
Deborah.
That's right, Dr. Deborah.
it's in
That's right.
curriculum instruction. I got my doctorate at Mercer. So I'm a bear. I'm a bear.
Okay.
Um,
Pirate Bear.
There I am. I'm a pirate, and then whatever Georgia College. I'm embarrassed to say
Knights. Nope, that's college.
That's
Nope,
middle
Georgia College State University in Milledgeville. I can't remember what the mascot is.
This is a show.
Bottom line is, bottom line is, I got my master's
possum.
there in special education, and that was a means to an end
Okay.
going to Georgia College, because most of the classes I took at Macon State.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so we come back. We come back to Macon, Georgia, after kind of moving around a lot. At that point, I have 3 kids. I can't possibly, on my little bachelor's degree in music therapy, I can't possibly support 3 in daycare. So I stayed home, which was a blessing, for 6 years until Kenneth started kindergarten. And then that's when I started thinking, so what now? What now? And really enjoyed volunteering at their school, and then got a chance to get a job as an aide, as a paraprofessional, and did that for 3 years. And then Bibb County decided to eliminate paraprofessionals. This was back in 2000. What was it? 90. It was right around 2000. It was around 2000, 2001 school year, I think, that they decided that, we were going to cut costs from the Bibb County school system. We're just going to eliminate all the aides positions.
Let's take away the help for teachers.
Even the kindergartner teachers didn't have.
Good
No,
night.
that was a bad year.
Dang. It was a bad decision.
It was not a good decision. It only lasted a year, and the teachers.
There haven't been a lot from the Bibb County school system.
Well,
Has there been a lot of
Well, this was back. No, this was back in
you break our new
defense of the school system. This was back when the Bibb County, controlled the
Guns.
budget.
budget?
Oh,
They controlled the budget for the school system. Now the school system sets its own millage rate, but back then the county set the millage rate for the school system, and they didn't want to change it, so that's how they cut corners.
well, they got to the board members got to make more.
But anyway, so that's how I decided. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and become a teacher. Better job security,
Oh yeah.
better pay.
Right.
So that's when I went and ended up getting my master's degree, since I already had a bachelor's degree, and so I've been teaching. I taught with Bibb County. Well, I started as a parapro in '98, and we left in 2016. But I started teaching in the 2001, 2002 school year at Weaver. I was at middle school for 1 year, but mostly in elementary school. Sonny Carter, Springdale. Love both of those schools. So And then I decided to get my doctorate because in Georgia, it gives you a pay bump. It gives you opportunities to get extra degrees, which also, since I started teaching at 38, I knew I wasn't going to retire at 30 years.
Right.
So it also that increases your pension.
Okay.
You know, when
Yeah.
you have a
That makes
yeah.
sense.
So I did that. Doesn't do me any good in Florida, but anyway. Um, um, uh, and then after the boys were all out of the house and Roy was kind of getting burned out on his job, and I was too. And this Caribbean school contacted him and said, "Why don't you come and be an executive associate dean or associate dean at our medical school?" And we thought,
That's insane.
"Wow,
Huh.
wow."
That's reached out to him.
Yeah, a headhunter reached out to him, and we laughed about it at
That's a
first.
good thing.
He got it.
Headhunter, right?
Yeah.
I
In this
see.
in this
In this
sense,
sense,
in
In
this
okay.
this
sense,
sense,
yeah.
Okay.
that's true. Yeah, he got a phone call and he said, "Man, this Caribbean school." We just laughed, you know, and I said, "Sure, we're going to move to the Caribbean." And then they said, "Well," he said, "Well, they want to fly me down here." And I said, "Well, okay, go,
Free trip to the
free
Caribbean.
trip
Yeah,
to the
take that.
Caribbean." And you know, they offered to fly me down too, but we were in the middle of testing, and I just couldn't. I couldn't take that time off, so they flew him down. They really liked him. They said, "Oh, we want you to come back. We'll fly you back in June so your wife can come." And
Huh.
so next thing we knew,
That's wild.
we were in the Caribbean. So from January 1st of 2017 to January 1st, pretty much 2019, we were living in the Caribbean. And because I had been led to get this doctorate, I was able to get a job too.
Wow.
So I was able to get a job in their learning department. So I helped do faculty development with faculty to help them to be better teachers. Because I mean, they're biochemists and and anatomists and all teaching, but they'd never had like education courses. So I was helping them with their teaching, and then I was also meeting and helping students with learning. How do you study for all this material and
Mm.
so I mean, it was a great opportunity to do it. And then when we moved to West Virginia, I got to do the same thing in that medical school, work with those faculty members and with those students, medical students. So I had 5 years of experience working with medical students. So I was fascinated. I told Chris last night. I said, "Man, y'all have no idea when you were talking to you said Dr.
Souza?
Dr.
Souza,
Souza.
uh, yeah, y'all he casually mentioned, that, he was a neurosurgeon. Didn't he say he was a
Yeah.
neurosurgeon?
Well, on the web, I don't know if he said, but I read his bio on his website. It says he's a
A
neurosurgeon.
neurosurgeon
His residency at
and did his
medical
residency. And
center.
I said, y'all have no idea how hard it is to get a surgical residency. And at the time it was MCCG. I mean, that's a level 1 trauma center. I mean, that's a feather in his cap. I mean, he nothing about primary care physicians because we need primary care physicians more than anything else. But the people that get those types of residencies, excuse me, they are top of their class kind of guys.
Mm.
So he must be brilliant.
Mm.
So anyway, so
I mean,
then
he chose to come on Coffee and Ketchup, so he must be brilliant.
well, yeah, absolutely,
And I just
absolutely.
want to point out too that you see, so now both of you know that both of my parents
Dr.
are
Roy.
doctorate holding teachers, which is why I'm smarter than both of you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Chris, that's like
On Monday.
saying that I can outrace a kindergartner. You know
That's
what
true.
I mean?
That's true. It's really nothing to brag about. You're
Really
right.
not. But
You're right.
hey, you're right, man. Right. Me and old what it Derek.
What's that dummy's name down there?
What's that dude's name down there, my brother?
Whatever we were talking earlier, and I was trying to come up with hypocrisy, and I couldn't come up with it. And I was just like, what am I trying to come up
What
with?
did you say?
I said hypocriticism.
Hypocriticism.
I was just like, it was like, I hate when people are like being.
Why'd you
It wasn't.
why'd you admit that? We didn't have it on
Listen,
script.
because
Because I was going to.
because Brian saved the day with that one. I was just like, I
I
hate
think
when
you're trying to
do
say
that.
hypocrisy, Chris.
Yeah. It's
So
like,
That's the word. Yes, ma'am.
at this moment, I would like to point something out too. Thelma and Louise was on
oh my
TV
God.
earlier,
Yep.
and it's weird that Chris was 3 when that movie came out. So he didn't know who Thelma and Louise were. He knew who the actresses were when we saw them.
Okay,
Right.
yeah,
But he had
A
never
League of
heard
Their
of
Own
the
and Bull
movie.
Durham. Okay,
He
yeah,
had
I know.
never heard of
So,
the movie.
yeah.
So the movie came out when in 91?
91.
How do you know he was 3? Oh.
Damn it.
It's easy for me to remember because I can always just, that's burnt. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. I just wanted to throw that in there because, I'm just assuming everybody has heard of Thelma and Louise. And
True.
he walks in and he's
It's
like,
it's classic.
I'm chilling on the couch. And he's like, what you watching? I was like, Thelma and Louise. And I was like, he doesn't know what that is.
Mhm.
And you talk about being smarter than us, and you are. I'll always say that you're a very smart guy. I've used that even out of your presence before when I'll tell people, Chris is smart as a whip, one of the smartest people I've ever been around, and I glean from that. You like how I flip that in?
Not bad.
I glean from that
Not
knowledge,
bad.
but I'll tell you what, I am learning too, and I'm getting better. I came up with the hypocrisy thing.
Yeah.
Earlier, I was talking with someone, and they were talking about they had cataract surgery, and I said, well, I prefer a BMW over a Cadillac. But you have surgeries on whatever you want to have surgeries on.
Whatever
It's
you
your
want,
car.
whatever you need to get fixed.
It's your car, man.
Wow.
Do what you got to do.
No, you're talking about Thelma and Louise. Remember when I made the comment, about the OCD stuff and
It
about
was a side-
sleeping with sleeping
When
with
you called Derek a serial killer and then willingly came to his house, and
In
she
his
has a
basement.
doctorate. She has a doctorate
They're in his basement.
right now. Right now.
Actually, he wasn't a serial killer, but he was a horrific domestic
Yes.
abuser.
Yes.
Yes, and
Brian, are you
but the
okay? You
minute
live with Derek. Are you okay?
One eye open.
Bedroom door locked.
Bedroom door locked with the music going.
But you were talking about, the labels. There's a scene in that movie where, she has gotten out and she's escaped and she's making a life for herself. And it was one of Julie Roberts' early movies,
Yeah.
and she's like happy and she's like dating this guy and everything's good. And she opens her cabinet door and every one of those labels
Does
is
she
facing
notice
the
that all the
front,
labels are facing?
and she knows he's there and she loses it.
Deborah,
loses
before
it.
you leave, I want to show you my cat food. How I have it. It's about time to
That was a
restock it.
scary
Too.
movie. Wow.
Labels out.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Waters.
Yeah. All.
Waters.
Yeah.
I can show her all that before she leaves.
Yeah.
I'll have to
It's like
see
an
it.
MTV Cribs episode.
Except much sadder.
Much
Because you go
sadder.
to MTV Cribs, it's like, come on in, you broke bunch of jokers. And you open up the refrigerator, it's like Cristal and all that, the
all
labels
the
facing out.
expensive stuff.
Scarface is playing on the TV.
Yeah.
There's got bottled water.
Yeah. Thelma and Louise over there. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's like MTV Cribs, but just a little more depressing.
Channel, Dublin Channel, Cribs coming to you live.
Yeah, I just need to grab this cake from Mama real quick, and then we can go ahead and go over there.
This guy again?
You have got to be kidding me.
Hey boys, I got y'all's cake right here, man. Oh, I got it right here. Wait till you get a load of this.
Derek, come on, man. I got somebody way better.
Hey, suit yourself, fellas.
Always go with someone you can count on. Emerald City Sweets is locally female owned and operated. They have been in business since 2019. They are open Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They serve soups, salads, sandwiches, and of course, cupcakes. They offer custom cakes and sweets for your every occasion. Located at 302 Pine Forest Street in Dublin, Georgia, they can be reached at 478-205-5385. Again, that's 478-205-5385. And their Facebook is linked in the description. Get your event done right with Emerald City Sweets.
That is way better.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Deborah, how tall are you?
Dr.
How tall am I? At one point, I was pushing 5'10". As you get older, I'm about 5'9" now. But Roy is 6'4.5". And the funny thing is,
No, he's not.
he was.
I am 6'5".
He was. He was.
He's lost 4 inches.
He was 6'4". Anyway, I'm not arguing with you.
I'm not arguing
That's
with
her
you.
husband.
He's
Of course she
6'4".
knows.
He was 6'4"
I can
at
see
one
he's
time.
6'2".
He
I
was
can see
6'4".
6'2".
when we met our sophomore year in high school, we were the same height. So
Really?
he grew essentially 6 inches from the time we met in 10th grade until the time we graduated in high school. So
Doggone.
and actually all three boys are the same way. They really didn't get that growth spurt until they were 17 to 19 years old.
Mm.
So how tall are the other? You're six. How many?
Five.
6'5".
6'5".
Keith is 6'5".
Keith 6'5".
Yeah,
Kenneth
Keith's
is
6'5". I know.
6'4",
Yeah,
yeah.
Keith's 6.
Keith's like 6'4.5".
He's 6'5", man.
And I think Kenneth's about 6'2".
Kenneth, he's short. Kenneth's like
They
six,
call him
That is
something
not
like
the
short.
shortest one in the
That's
house.
He's
funny.
short.
Not short.
Wow.
Compared to you, Giants. What's Roy's middle initial? Please tell me it's D.
It is.
Roy D.
Just happened
I
that
had
way.
26 opportunities for it to be right. That's how many
Roy
letters from
D.
the alphabet.
I know
Chris.
this. I got
I thought you just threw that number out there. I wasn't
I'm
sure.
sure.
Or you got
No,
that
I just
deal.
wanted it to be D really bad.
Do you know why he's D though?
Chris?
He doesn't
Yeah.
know why Dad's do.
I didn't even know
He
Chris
didn't
was
know that
He's
Dad.
Chris D. Russ. You know why
Chris.
he's D? Because my name was Deborah Daniel,
Okay.
and my daddy had 3 girls, and I wanted to honor my dad
Nice.
by naming by putting Daniel in Chris's name, you know, because he
You picked the wrong son, Deborah.
Should have held out for that second, boy. You should have held out for that second.
If she could have only known the second was going to be a boy.
Little did you know that it was
you
going to
never
be
know.
all rise. First on the docket, Mr. Christopher Daniel Russ. Sir, how do you please? Who you got on your list for Jackson today, Robbie? Well, I'm driving old Christopher Daniel back to the big house. He's back again. That's hard-headed, boy.
Oh, you okay, Chris? He's way back in the seat there, buddy.
You're not so tall after all.
That's too perfect.
Flip that thing back.
You picked the wrong son. Oh, that's too funny.
Oh man,
This is fun. I'm having a blast
I'm
with
having a
you.
good time.
Dr. Deborah, do y'all
Yes,
live
sir.
on the beach?
Oh no. We live OTB.
He's a PhD doctor, not an MD.
That's exactly right.
Doesn't actually practice medicine. He has a doctorate, but he's not like.
I don't know. I just
No, but seriously, that's what, because a lot of our friends that he went to school with ended up getting their MDs instead of their PhDs. And Roy would always say, we got the different letters behind our name because you can't even compare. So in Amelia Island, Fernandina Beach, the city, or should I say the postal address? The post office recognizes part of the mainland as Fernandina Beach, and then up to a certain point, then it becomes Yulee. So even though our address says Fernandina Beach, we live over the bridge, which is what they say OTB. So we're on the mainland side of Fernandina Beach,
Sounds like something Brian
which
would do.
will make an incredible difference on
bridge.
your
That's right.
property taxes and your property values. So my house on the island beachfront would probably double to triple its value.
I got you.
So we would have had to be living in a double wide to
I
live on
got
the
you.
island, probably. But I'm 15 minutes from the beach,
Okay.
and 15 minutes from downtown. It's a great place. Love it. Love it.
It's a nice place.
It
A little
is.
hot, but it's nice.
It's not any hotter than Macon, Georgia.
Or it's not near as dangerous either.
No, probably
Florida
not.
man is unrivaled. I don't know.
Probably.
Florida man's out there doing his thing. Wrestling gators and
True.
Oh,
just the
well,
crazy. That's what we need to have some minimal criminal Florida man.
I
Like
got
a
you.
Florida man edition.
Say less.
They've got so many good Florida man stories.
I'm on
It's
it.
fantastic.
Who's Florida?
It's like it's a meme. You know what a meme is?
I
Is
get
that like
There's
a
a lot
movie?
of crazy stories from people from Florida. So the meme has been nicknamed like Florida Man
Okay.
because in the papers in Florida it'll say Florida man arrested for blah
Say
blah
no more.
blah.
Say no
You
more.
know?
yeah.
If I could live in one county in Florida, it would be Polk County, simply because of the sheriff. I love that guy.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar with him in Polk County, Grady Judd?
Yeah. In fact, There was something in the news about Polk County recently.
Are you close to there?
No, I think it's more. I think Polk is
Well, it
is more
can't be
Central
farther
Florida.
north.
Well, that's true. Um, I took West Virginia history in eighth grade, so I know about West Virginia, and the boys took Georgia history, so I have a general idea about geography of Georgia. I know nothing about the geography of
I
Florida.
don't
I know
either.
my sister lives in Melbourne, which is very close to Cape Canaveral, so she's
Now she's
more.
gonna be bugged by paparazzi too.
Now,
We really should have went over your your procedural stuff with okay, now you don't want to give out any personal information.
that's true.
I'm sure you understand what the internet is.
We have a mass following.
You know,
Um,
555 people are gonna come after you.
yeah, yeah, that's right. But yeah, I don't know. I know where Orlando is, and I know where Tampa
I
is.
think it's near Orlando.
I think it is more central. It
I
is more
think so
central
too.
Florida.
He's so making that up.
No, I'm
So cool.
serious. Look
He
at the
has
face.
no
I think
clue.
No, he
pretty
definitely
sure
has
it's
no
around
clue, but it sounded good, so he
around
believes that
Yeah,
now.
around
That's
Orlando.
that's why I had to call him out on it.
Have
'cause
you ever
look at
watched
his
him
face.
he'll have a conversation with himself and talk himself into believing something that he just made up? By the end of him talking to himself, he's just like, no, that is right. No, it is Central Florida. Actually, I know that.
Down there by Kissimmee and all that.
Kiss,
Longwood.
Kissimmee.
Longwood. That's how the locals say it.
Kissimmee? Is that the local state or Kissimmee?
Kissimmee.
I don't think anybody.
That's how I
I don't
said
think
it.
anybody but
That's how
you
I
says
said it. I was
Kissimmee.
local.
Oh, Kissimmee. Kissimmee, Florida.
Oh,
Oh man.
are we putting Luigi again?
It's
Please.
just Italian, man. That's stereotypical. I mean,
You said it that time.
did I?
I'd say.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
So
I'd
listen,
be at the gas pumps now. I'd ask
look
a
at
pretty
Mike.
girl, "Where are we at?" She'd say, "Kissimmee." I'd say, "Are you sure? We just met."
That's the restaurant my sister told us to go to. Kissimmee, we just met. Stop talking, Brian. All right, listen. So this next segment, well, before we get into that, I just want to say, thank you for coming on and sharing this stuff with you. It's been very interesting. I've heard some of it, but not all of it. I appreciate you making the time and coming up and spending yesterday with us and spending, we got to spend some today together as well. I really appreciate it, and I definitely want it to be known that you and Dad, I've always recognized you, first off, great childhood, troubled child, did everything you could, I'm very grateful for that. And I've always recognized that you've probably got the strongest faith that I've ever had a chance to witness. And Dad is probably, I don't want to say the goodest guy, but he's one of those guys that you want to model yourself after. He's just one of the best all around guys. May not always be the nicest, but he's definitely got a big heart. And he's just one of the best men, that I've ever had a chance to be a part of life and meet. And thank you both for everything that you've done. Really appreciate it. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get him on here.
Quick,
That would be
not his thing.
quick
that would be a
interjection.
show.
When I started working with Chris, once my office was across the hall from his, we were just getting to know each other, really getting personal with each other. We had known each other for a little while, and I kid you not, the first few times you guys had conversations, and he would be in his office and would have you on speakerphone, and he might have had the door shut, might not have. But I could kind of hear you guys conversing back and forth, and it was you guys
I'm
just
so
have
proud of him.
the
He used to
neatest.
say conversate. Now he says converse. It's so good.
You guys have the neatest conversations. Really and truly. It's just so genuine and real. I'm not going to say brother and sister, but
Okay.
it's a closeness that you guys share today. And I know it hasn't always been that way, but you can just hear the closeness and the trust and the admiration and love that both of you share with the other. And I just want to let you know that I've noticed that. I've never even told him that, but I've noticed that. And at first I used to listen, I was like, no, he's got brothers, but I didn't know he had a sister. And I would not know who you were. I would hear, I would know your voice, and then I think one time I think he mentioned you or said something like mom or something like that, and that's when I put it together that you're actually his mom. But y'all's relationship is very spectacular to me, and I just wanted to let you know that, both of y'all. It's admirable.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Derek, you gonna follow that up?
Okay.
That's
I do have to tell you this because I know you know how I am. I always have the door locked and everything. Every time you come over, it's rare that you can just walk in.
That's fair. You should always, if I'm on the way over, you should probably lock your door anyway. That's fair.
So anyway, I'm laying on the couch finishing up Thelma and Louise. It's a movie that came out in '91. And I all of a
3
sudden,
years after I was born.
I hear the doorbell ring, and I hop up off the couch and I open the door. Didn't even look out because I figured it was Dr. Deborah coming in. And so I just unlocked the door, opened it up, and she comes in and gives me a big hug. She's like, I feel like I already know you after watching you for 30 plus episodes. And I was like, this is going to be cool. And I actually did. I asked her there's a reason why I asked her how tall she was, because when she started to come down into the basement here, I was like, she might bump her head. So I need to tell her, make sure she watches her head on the way down. That was all I was going to say.
Mom, you're tall.
Well said, Derek.
Thank you.
A lot
Derek
of people
thinks
do
you're tall.
consider me to be very tall. Nobody in my family considers me to be tall, but
I
my
understand.
friends,
I understand that.
Pretty
Okay,
sure.
no.
my
All right.
friends do. Yeah.
All right. So the next thing, because our family is definitely food connoisseurs. So I found this thing on TikTok that a guy was doing.
Did you say carnivores?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, Dad had a shirt when I was growing up. It said PETA on it, and and up under it said "People for the Eating of Tasty Animals."
They don't know what PETA is.
That's for those who don't know, PETA is an organization that stands for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. Good little play on words. So this is going to be which one are you going to give up for the rest of your life? You're going to have two choices. You got to give up one for the rest of your life,
And it's going to be foods?
and it's going to be they're all foods. Okay, they're all foods.
Please
All
don't.
right.
There's
Please
like 8
don't
or
have
9 of them.
cigarettes on.
You've already done that, man. Congratulations. You've already
We're
done
proud
that.
of you,
Yeah.
too.
Yes,
We're
that's
proud of you.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one up is: would you rather give up cheese for the rest of your life or chocolate for the rest of your life? Now, this is not a hard one. Chocolate's gone. Chocolate is gone out the door. No.
Gosh,
I agree 100%.
Chocolate is like a section of dessert.
Yeah.
Cheese is a food group.
Yes.
He
got that from
it is
me
the main thing in dairy. It's really the most important dairy food group.
by far.
Yeah.
Derek,
I guess I'm gonna have to do chocolate too. I guess
you're going to do
Yeah,
chocolate?
but I ain't happy about it.
Yeah.
I love chocolate, but the only thing that makes chocolate better to me is when I put cheese on it. So
We didn't even get through the first one before you started being weird.
cheese can stay.
All right. So everybody's in agreement on it. All right.
Moving
The
on.
next one. Coffee or soda? Which one you giving up?
Easy.
You're chunking out coffee. Yeah. I only drink coffee at work now. I only drink it when I go to work and I make us a pot and we drink it and I have like 2 cups. Dude, at my house on the weekends every day, I drink soda. I drink soda.
I'm giving up soda.
Soda and ketchup. It's going to be
I'm
my
giving up
spin-off
soda.
podcast.
No, stop.
You're giving up soda, keeping the coffee?
Yeah, I got to. Yeah,
Okay.
for the
Okay.
diabetes.
You keeping the coffee as well?
Dr. Deborah, your answer?
I don't drink either one.
Okay, so they're both going for you.
As far as I'm
she's
concerned,
done.
yeah.
She's done.
Uh,
She's giving up all kind of stuff.
Sodas are gone. They've already been gone. I put them out probably a year and a half ago. I'll have one.
Diet
I'll
Coke.
have one every now and again. But I just want to say this: since you said it, I'm gonna follow up. If you have a spinoff called Sodas and Ketchup, I hope all the bad things happen to you and only you.
See how far our friendships are. All right, next. Now we're going to start getting into some harder ones. There's 1 or 2 more easy ones on here. Now we're getting into some hard ones. Are you going to give up pizza or hamburgers?
Simple. That's easy. Hamburgers are gone.
Really?
Yes, sir. Because I can get a pizza that tastes like a hamburger.
That's true.
Thank you.
That's very true. Yeah, I'm not giving up
I'm
pizza.
smarter than a 6th grader today.
This is the first one that was like really tough, but I think I have to give up hamburgers.
Yeah,
as well.
bye.
I can't.
They're just not as versatile as pizza.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's so many combinations. Not that hamburgers aren't delicious.
So we were unanimous on that one, I would
Yeah,
I
think,
believe
right?
so. I think
Okay.
we were unanimous except for coffee and soda.
Okay.
2
Derek
out
went
of 2 out of
chocolate.
3.
Derek went chocolate.
You're giving up chocolate, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're giving up
Yeah.
chocolate. Everybody's giving up.
Yeah,
Everybody's
no, we
giving
all
up.
gave up
Okay,
chocolate.
okay.
Nobody's giving up cheese
I
except for
agree.
lactose intolerant
You
people.
can't have
That's
a pizza
true.
without cheese. It's not pizza.
That's true.
Right.
That's
All right, next up we have juice or milk. I'm giving up juice. I'm diabetic. Juice is terrible. Not that I drink a whole lot of either one, but juice is generally. There are some diet ones, but I'm just keeping milk. You gotta have milk.
Whenever Christian was a toddler, we had a upstairs with a little den area for him at the landing up top, and he would have a sippy cup watching cartoon. He would come to the very top of the stairs and he would say, "Juice," and drop his sippy cup
What a baller!
from the top of the stairs.
What a baller!
And every time he would do that, I'd go, "I'm getting it, buddy. I'll be right up with it."
On the way.
So yeah, Juice is gone for me.
Got a resentment with that Juice.
I mean, again, I really don't drink either one of them, but if I had to choose, I would probably choose the milk because I just don't.
Milk can go.
Cheese is my only dairy, pretty much.
Milk's on
Well,
milk's
cheese
on
and
the
ice
outs.
cream. Let me.
You know, not anymore. You have what you gonna have sorbet? You gave up that milk. You know what I mean?
Oh no, you said milk. You didn't say dairy. There's two different things.
You wanna use
Milk,
milk for ice cream?
I'll give up drinking milk. Yeah, I don't drink milk.
So
Derek, what you got?
if I give up juice, then there'll be no more of me rolling down the street then, right?
Next. Next. Damn it.
No, and you better not be smoking Indo either.
I would give up juice.
Thanks, Snoop.
Yeah, thank goodness. I was hoping you would.
I was just hoping
Because we
y'all
need to
would-
have an intervention anyway.
Yeah. You and
You
all your
know?
friends from the CPT.
You know, you just can't. Just money on your mind. You know what I mean? That's all you got going on. All right, are we giving up? This is a simple one, the easiest one on the list. Are we giving up popcorn or French fries? I'll see you later, popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn's gone.
Correct.
Okay.
Not even a question.
Don't
Not
let the
even a
door hit you in
Uh,
the butt,
not
Orville.
for me.
You like popcorn?
Oh, you give
I-
up
Over.
fries?
And I
Fries.
don't.
Well,
like-
did you get like an
I don't like-
honorary doctorate? Is that what this was?
Clear.
I really don't like potatoes that much. I really don't like potatoes that much.
So-
I don't. My husband loves potatoes. I'm really not a big potato person.
So, Dr.
some
Deborah, what
cheese. I don't
kind
like
of
baked potatoes.
popcorn do you like?
Oh,
I need
I
to
just
try it.
like I just like
You just like popcorn.
popcorn
With cheese on it?
popped in. No, I don't want anything on it. Popped in. I want it popped in oil. I'm not a big air pop guy with just some salt. I want.
Mm.
So my daddy used to do the whole get the big old pot and put the oil on the bottom of it. And you drop one little kernel, and then when
There
it
you go.
pops, then you
There
throw
you
it
go.
all in there, and that was the best popcorn.
That's where it
Okay,
comes
so
from.
we could be on a nostalgia thing like we talked
It
Yeah,
about.
could be.
that's
time
definitely
and
a
time.
factor in it
Got
for
to
sure.
It could be, but it's
Gotta
my
Definitely a
favorite snack
factor in it
food.
for
Gotta
sure.
be.
That's why I asked the question.
That was a
Yeah,
good question.
yeah, you're right. I don't
I
want
mean-
I don't want a bunch of powdery flavored. I don't want that kind of popcorn. I just want
58
straight-
minutes in, Derek. Good question. Next, Chris.
We giving up fruits or vegetables?
Oh, that's easy.
Take them both.
Can I bring chocolate back to the table?
I'll raise you with chocolate and give you fruits and vegetables. How about that, Captain?
Okay, now I can't choose because I would give up meat before I gave up fruits and vegetables.
Wow.
That's sad.
I would.
Dang.
That's
Or I could
not
be
cool.
a pescatarian, which means just eating
Bothering people.
just
Just a pesky,
That would be you.
just a pesky person.
a pescatarian eats fish, eats seafood. I could eat seafood and fruits and vegetables, and for the rest of my life, I'd be happy. I don't have to have meat, so I don't think I could choose between fruits and vegetables.
Hmm.
And
We'll accept that.
I guess I would choose fruit if I had to.
You
But
giving up
I-
the fruit?
I guess, but I.
Me
She
too.
don't want to, though.
Me
Mm-mm.
too.
Yeah, I'd give up fruit, too.
I'm giving up fruit.
Because I
Vegetables
don't
are
eat
too
none
good.
anyway.
And you're giving up.
Exactly.
I already-
I
had
eat
to
a lot more
choose, I would
vegetables
choose-
than
I would give
fruit.
up fruit because I
Okay,
eat more
well, I'm
vegetables.
gonna give you my fruit because I'm giving both of them up. I'm there for you. I'm there.
He's
for
over
you,
there like,
man.
I don't think they put fruits or vegetables in my Chick-fil-A order
No,
every
they-
day, so it
they
doesn't
don't.
matter.
They
Doesn't matter.
don't.
I don't need to know.
You know how bad it is at Chick-fil-A? When I go to Chick-fil-A every morning,
Yeah.
6 days a week, it'd be 7, but they will close on Sunday. Hey, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, they know.
It don't matter who's working.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do.
Look, I do love me some Chick-fil-A.
Hey, they're the
I love me
best.
some
Good.
Chick-fil-A.
Pretty
Best
good.
chicken sandwich.
All right, so next, since you brought up the pesky fish, are we giving up fish or chicken? I hate it. Fish has got to go.
Yes, bye.
Chicken is way too versatile.
I'm the opposite. I would keep. Well, when you say fish, I'm thinking
Chick-fil-A's
Seafood.
listening.
I'm thinking seafood.
I'm
So
thinking
I'm
No, ma'am.
fish.
thinking
Just
I'm
fish,
not shrimp, not
shrimp.
shellfish.
Yeah,
just
just
fish.
fish.
Okay, then I probably would go with it. I would keep the chicken.
Thank you.
probably.
Chick-fil-A thanks you.
Yeah.
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 I'd keep chicken too.
Everybody, you got to keep chicken.
Yeah,
Just-
chicken
you
is
got to have
That's a
chicken.
tough one though.
that chicken
It
is
is.
kicking.
You can't
It is.
not have chicken. Now, this was probably the hardest one for me. Like it's not that hard. It's a no-brainer, but it would be the toughest one for me to give up because these are probably my top two things to eat. You giving up hot dogs or tacos? Now, obviously, I'm keeping tacos. I'm giving up hot dogs.
Yeah.
But that's the hardest one. That's the most heartbreaking one to give up. Yeah. Shelly bought me a hot dog toaster for Christmas.
Oh,
Really?
that's
I
right.
can pop in 2 hot dogs and 2 buns and it toasts it all up. I love
Genius.
a hot dog.
I
It's
didn't
like a
know they
taco
made
with
that.
just a hot dog. Yes, listen, I
Interesting.
love hot dogs.
What's Dr. W giving?
No, I would definitely be giving
She's
up the
giving
hot
tacos.
dogs. I have never been a big hot dog person. I do love hamburgers, but I would keep the tacos. Well, like I said, we lived in New Mexico for almost 2.5 years.
Real tacos.
We're a little bit of Mexican food snobs. I mean,
that makes sense.
there are certain dishes that we judge every Mexican restaurant by,
Right.
and so
This is
yeah,
like Tex-Mex out this way.
yeah, mostly. But I mean, I love anything Mexican.
And
I'm
since
not-
we kept cheese, Mexican's all right.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
some of that
right.
Fiesta
We'd have given up that
cheese.
cheese, it'd have been a lot different.
Yeah.
It's a little harder.
Well, being as I'm half Mexican, I'm not answering that question. Y'all already know what I'm giving up.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I don't think he's half Mexican.
I mean, I'm speaking on behalf.
Maybe like some weird kind of tree looking thing, maybe. Reverse family tree, maybe something like that. But yeah, everybody's keeping tacos, but like I said, that was the hardest one. I was the most upset about having to give up hot dogs. And then last but not least, these are going to be like entire foods. I'm saying, so are we giving up Japanese or Italian?
That's the hardest.
That's by far.
This is
Fruits and vegetables, and this one is the hardest.
Dude,
if I can make the argument that pizza is not Italian,
how are you going to make that argument?
because I'm not sure that it is. It has very similar tastes and stuff like that, very similar ingredients to traditional Italian food. I don't think pizza originated in Italy.
It did,
I think it
but
definitely did.
But American pizza, it's kind of like Mexican food. I think that true American pizza is not
I agree.
what Italians consider.
And the different styles in America, no matter depending on where you're at. You're up in,
Sure.
you're up
Sure.
in Brooklyn. You're
Sure.
getting a different style, and Chicago a different style.
Hey, I'm taking my hamburgers back then because I'm giving up Italian food.
That's
I have to get my hamburgers back.
that is
Saying bye to the pizza.
Yeah, because I love both of those.
I
Yeah.
love Japanese.
And
is
I
my
know you
favorite kind
love.
of
I know you.
this
my
is
favorite
Japanese.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
This is just a game, right?
food. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat Japanese and Italian after I leave.
That's right. We may have to go get some sushi now.
I'm gonna go get some
Going
pizza.
into-
I'm gonna go get pizza and sushi as soon as I
I'm
leave.
going to Kobe and ordering a hot dog. Man,
So where y'all at, man? What are we doing? Last one, hardest one. Save the best for last. Where are we at?
What were the two options again?
Stop. Are you giving up Japanese food or Italian food?
Japanese.
I will agree and go with Japanese for the win.
If the pizza is still on the table,
Pizza is you
pizza's
said
on
it.
the-
Pizza is gonna
Yeah.
be
I would
Italian.
have to.
Yeah.
I would have to get
Everybody's
rid of the
keeping
Italian.
pizza and Italian, except for
Oh.
me.
No, I would have to. I would have to go with I would have to get the.
Give up Japanese, right?
No. If
You're
I
giving up pizza?
okay, if the pizza's part of Italian, then no, I can't do it.
Well,
I
you
can't
said
do it.
pizza was created in Italy.
Yeah.
We're gonna
It is.
consider.
It is
we're gonna
technically.
just be
no.
fair
Then I'd
across the
have
board.
to. I'd have to give up the Japanese, but that would be
Yeah.
hard. Yeah.
Chris and I played this game several years ago. Mine about 5 years ago, his about I think 7 years ago, and they came to us and said, "You giving up drugs or your freedom?"
Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
Thank God.
I've actually played that game numerous times over the years. And only once have I said
just
I was going to
chose
give up
wrong
the drugs.
for so long.
Yes.
Take
It
my
was on
freedom.
long. Yeah.
They're just,
Take my
they're just like
freedom.
looking at me like, I don't think you understand the rules. Did you not hear me explain this correctly?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Closing arguments.
None here, Your Honor. Would you like to leave us with anything, Mom?
Yes.
We've had a wonderful time with you
This
today.
has
It's
We're
been a lot of fun.
we're so grateful for
this
you
has
coming
been
on.
so much fun.
It has been fun.
I'm
Had
telling
a
you the
great
truth.
time.
This has been a fun time. I think I've been the freest that I've been since we started doing this today, and this is no joke. I have
Good.
enjoyed myself.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yep.
Now, the only thing I wanted to add, so when y'all's mom, Sharon, was on, and I watched that episode, it was a beautiful episode.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended, and her words really, really touched my heart. And she said that, if you love someone who's in addiction, any kind of addiction, and just don't give up. Don't give up. Keep praying. God can work miracles. Case in point.
Mm.
And 100% agree, 100%. But I also want to say to you out there, if you love someone in addiction, um, you need to get some help for yourself too, because addiction is a family illness.
Mm-hmm.
It does not just involve the person in addiction. You cannot love someone and not be affected by their addiction. So, yes, continue to love them, continue to pray for them, but you've got to set those boundaries. You've got to be able to protect yourself, your property, your mental health, your physical health. So you need to get some help, whatever that looks like. There are many, many, many recovery groups out there for families. It's so easy to say, well, I'm not the one with the problem. He's the one with the problem. She's the one with the problem. Yes, but it's still your problem too. And I know until I walked into the doors of my support group 15 years ago in December, I was just as crazy as he was.
Mm.
And I was just as sick physically, spiritually, emotionally. And I am still in that recovery group, even though he is 6.5 years clean. Went to a meeting on Wednesday night. If that's not for you, there are different types of recovery groups. Find something. Mine's a 12-step group. Um, find a counselor. I went to a counselor at some point when things got really, really bad. In addition to my support group, if you have a pastor or someone at church or someone, find someone maybe who has a family member in addiction that can be your support. You need to find someone. You can't do this alone. So yes, don't give up. Miracles happen, but get help. Get help for you too.
Well
So,
said. Well said.
Again,
right.
thank you, Mom, Dr. Deborah. We do appreciate it. It's been an absolute joy. We've been over an hour. That's crazy.
Didn't seem like it
It
at
did
all.
not seem like it. It was
Not at
definitely
all.
a good time, man. Had a very good time. We just want to say thank you to Buckeye Preferred Services and Emerald City Suites. Always big supporters of the podcast and everything we got going on here. Check them out. Their links are down in the description. We have got t-shirts ordered. Doesn't look like it. Look at that. Mama's showing off the old t-shirt. I don't know. I think Brian
Yeah,
ordered
they're ordered.
t-shirts. We're
They're
waiting on them
ordered.
to come in
They're
maybe
in.
in the
They're
next
they're
couple of
they're
minutes.
actually in production right now. I spoke to
On the assembly
someone
line, if you will.
today, and I feel confident to say that we'll be looking at picking that order up this week. So when this episode airs Monday, do the math.
I am less confident that will happen.
The way he said confident was so slow in saying it. It was almost as if he was saying it, but
He
wasn't
was trying to
confident.
reassure
He's
himself
convincing.
in the middle of saying it. Anyways, we can reach out to us as always at coffeeandcatchuppc at gmail.com.
Let me slip this in, Chris. I'm sorry. I know you hate that.
He does.
I know. You know we said we were going to do this. Last week I wasn't able to give a number out. We talked about the beautiful table that we have now, Bassett Home Improvement. Give Jeremy a call, 478-279-0374. That's 478-279-0374.
That number once again
is 478-279-0374. Bassett Home Improvement did this beautiful table. And the face is coming. Jeremy, I'm putting you on blast because I'm tired of folks being able to see my nervous leg jumping. Carl, thank you. Back to you, Chris.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.